Welcome to another edition of OnSide SA, and we've got a result on our the last one standing, the first competition, and it's gone to Tubbs Riddell, the man who flits between Texas and London.
The Globetrotter.
Globetrotter, top man. He knows his football. Very popular guy. Loves his sport. He's really very good at sport. You can see why he's popular. He's just a good guy, and I'm pleased he's won it. You know, he had to take out the legend and someone else.
Yeah, Fabio.
But so he's going to be coming over in January.
Coming over for the Met, Paul. So all expenses paid trip for him to the Met.
Well done. And we're giving the winner of the Met, Tubbs. We'll give you the winner of the Met. But congratulations to Andrew Riddell, affectionately known as Tubbs Riddell, who's in the UK at the moment. He went for West Ham. Sean Singleton, who we tipped in the beginning. Go back 700 people or so. We tipped you Singleton.
Yeah, he's unlucky.
The legend was unlucky. He went for Leeds. And then also unlucky was Fabio Rosa.
Paul, when Chelsea scored in injury time, although that was it.
And that was it, game over.
Man United equalised.
Up comes Casemiro.
Yeah.
Unlucky to the losers. Now the girls, we've got a winner as well. Michelle Tovey has beaten Catherine Armstrong.
Yeah.
Fulham.
Can you believe it? Fulham beat Leeds at Leeds, and Brentford never turned up. They lost 4-0 at Aston Villa. So well done to Michelle.
Yeah, just to touch on it, the teams that took you out, Liverpool. Liverpool have slaughtered people in this competition. Liverpool took people, Arsenal, Tottenham, Leeds, Man United, and Crystal Palace took them out. So West Ham, the main people went through West Ham, Man City, everyone keeps that. And now the main tournament, as I like to call it, because the other one's out of the way, it's down to 3 ladies.
Yeah, 53 entries, Paul, 3 are ladies.
They definitely hold their own. Slightly lower percentages than the last one.
Yeah.
They were strong. But Bianca Coote, Julie Usher, I know exactly who Julie Usher's now, and Tennille Werners, Lawrence's daughter. Yeah. Well done. So it's going well for those 3. Those are the 3 ladies. UK guys still in. I always like to look at our internationals. Neil Horsman, Tweels, going well. Ark Horsman.
That's his nephew.
Going well, sure. Nigel Swinbank, our mate. Where is he in the world?
You won't believe it. He's actually arrived in Melbourne for the cricket. So I think he saw England lose to Ireland. So not the best of trips, but you never know. Hopefully England beat Australia, but he's in Melbourne.
When does South Africa play India?
We're playing today, South Africa. We're playing Bangladesh.
After rained out against the Irish. Okay. Calvin Cassie.
Tony Cass's son is living in Bournemouth.
Yes, got you. Steve Potter, our mate Steve Potter, is always there. And Derek Ramsey in Wales.
Can you believe it? You've got
one guy coming through, because Abood always goes, Ramsey always goes, Charlie Pigram, the Spurs man, always goes, but Derek's flying the flag,
Flying the flag
he's
for
doing
your
well.
crew.
He's an Everton man, so he's doing well.
Yeah.
And our picks are around. You sort of work out who the picks are, but let's go through them. The guys who picked Fulham away, Jason and James.
It's a father and son combination. Works for Gary Green. So he was on Fulham.
Gee, okay.
Brilliant pick.
Lionel Isaacs went for Villa.
Aston Villa, Lionel,
And Dave Harker went for Villa.
Our man from Pirates.
Toad favourite to win it? Grant Knowles.
Got 3 picks, Paul. 2 on Everton and 1 on Man City. So Knowlesy.
What about Knowlesy? Also loves his sport. Knows his sport backwards. Well done, Knowlesy. You're the favourite. And then your special mention, you'll have to tell me about this. Mark Curry, my mate, still got 2 picks. Going well. Rion Diaga. 2 picks.
2 picks.
Shane Botha, Sorrel.
Can you believe it? These are the guys that you would never suspect got this far, but have.
Mark Nash, smash. Ravi Naidu.
Tote boy, club
Connor
tab.
McNeil. Sounds like an Irish
man,
boxer.
one of Gary Green's boys.
And Dean Latimer.
Can you believe it? The old trainers in Zimbabwe.
Wow, so we got them coming from all over. Right, let's get Stevie on the line. Let's get our pundit from London.
Must be gloating another 3 points for Fulham.
Yeah, Stevie, are you about?
I'm here. Good morning.
Morning. You're well done with your win with Fulham. They're going well.
Yeah, no, it was a very good week last week. Having sort of dropped points at home to Bournemouth. Of the 3 matches we thought would begin, it was a very resounding win against Villa last Thursday night, and followed it up with a good 3 points at Leeds. So 7 points of 3 games,
very good,
up to 7th place.
We're going past a few. Well, you have gone past a few of the big names. Steve, talking of big names, Champions League on Tuesday night. I couldn't believe Chelsea won 2-1. I watched most of it.
Good winner.
He played Sterling and was it Pulovic as wing backs?
Yeah, he's obviously sort of can't quite work out what his best team is, and he's got somebody like Reece James out injured. But in the end, it came good. Havertz scored a superb winner, and they're not an easy team to beat away at in the Red Bull Arena, and they did well, and they've won the group. So I guess it justifies the selection.
Yeah, no doubt. And Dortmund, Man City, a bit of a damp squib, chances either side, and they missed another penalty. Moritz missed again, but
did the big blonde lad not play?
He started.
Okay.
De Bruyne was on the bench, Bernardo Silva, so he's rotating, and they've both gone through, but comfortable in the end at Man City. I'll leave your team. I watched the Ajax Liverpool. I watched the first half. How Ajax never scored in the first minute is beyond me. Liverpool are still woeful at the back, but once Salah scored 1-0 up, scored the second early, 3-0, comfortable, Steve.
Yeah, very much so. In fact, you're right. I mean, Ajax, that was an incredible miss. I mean, had they have gone one up, it could have put some pressure on Liverpool. But, they got into the game, they missed chances, and in the end, it was very comfortable for them. So, they've done what they need to do. They're not going to win the group. I can't see them beating Napoli by whatever they have to do, 4 or 5 goals. So, they're quite comfortable. But obviously, there are some big teams in the as group winners that they could be facing. So, but they did what they had to do in the end last night.
Yeah, they're going through. And I watched a little bit of the Barcelona Bayern Munich. The moment Inter Milan beat Victoria Pilsen, you could see they didn't want to be there. 3-0, comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
and
you know what?
Through from that group, Bud? Sorry.
Inter Milan Bayern. And you won't believe this, Paul, but 3 of the top Spanish teams are in the Europa League. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Seville. They're all in the Europa League. They've never qualified for the Champions League. They'll all finish third. So it's only Real Madrid from the Spanish clubs that have gone through. Unbelievable.
That's interesting.
And that's unusual, because normally you've got 2, if not 3 teams, Spanish teams tend to go through. So, Real Madrid, they lost the other night, but
they're mixed and matched,
and it's quite, if Tottenham make it, then obviously all 4 English teams will go through.
Yeah.
It should have been through, but again, there's still a hard watch. Stevie, there's still a hard watch. Watching first half, they were very good, the other team. Their midfield outplayed us. They got a goal. It was a good goal in the sense that from their point, but from our point, we should have pushed out and defended them. He let the guy shoot.
Backed off,
backed off, and they scored. And we had a couple of chances, Song and then they had a great chance to go 2-0 up. A clear-cut chance, and they fluffed it. Then we got back into it. But I thought we were going to lose 1-0. I really did, until Bentancur, great header. And there's obviously a lot of conjecture and debate after that goal was taken away by VAR. And I'm a swings and roundabouts man. You win some, you lose some, and it could have been, full and plain. The interesting thing was listening to Glenn Hoddle afterwards. I was speaking to Budgie. Steve, Glenn Hoddle said, the excitement of coming to football is watching a goal being scored and the players going mad, the bench going mad, and all the fans going mad. Now, every goal just about in the Premier League and the Champions League, the guy scores and they don't want to celebrate because they was jersey pulled 2 moves back. It's becoming, and yesterday he said was the worst, 4 minutes to make that decision. Make it after 40 seconds, right or wrong. Make it. I've punched this drum a bit. Don't send the ref to the sideline. You've got all the TVs. Make the call. It's your job. So I looked at it from all angles. I thought it was legit, but there's an argument that it wasn't, and move on. But he said fans aren't going to be enjoying it. You see more at home, because in those 4 minutes the fans know nothing. And he said, you want to come and watch this? And players don't know if they can accept their goal. So he said they've got to speed up the reviews.
Yeah, definitely. But I still think Spurs will go through. I think you'd be better away from home than at home. And
not really. We've got to go to Marseille.
It won't be easy there.
It won't be. We just need a point.
Yeah.
But whenever you play for a point, you lose.
You've got to go and get a result. Steve, tonight a couple of Europa League. Ronaldo,
Yeah,
obviously, he'll
I mean-
play Man United against Sheriff
Is Ronaldo
Tiraspol.
playing?
He'll play.
Yeah, I mean, United should win comfortably. Obviously, the big game will be in match day 6 when they go, go away. And if they want to win the group, they're going to have to win over there. But he'll mix and match. But they need to win to make sure they're definitely qualified. And, it's an easy enough game for them. I think the bigger game is Arsenal. Arsenal again just need a point really to be absolutely sure. He'll rotate without doubt. Arteta.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then West Ham also
4
through.
kids, he said.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham
playing them,
have won the group. He'll rest quite a few, and he'll play again. Look, they've all got reasonably good, strong squad, so he'll do the same thing. David Moyes. I mean, they should win comfortably. They won over there in Denmark easily enough at the beginning, so I think that they'll go through very comfortably, and obviously winning the group.
Yeah, no doubt. Steve, on to Saturday. We'll pull the betting odds up now. Leicester kick-off lunchtime against Man City.
Yeah.
I read an article that the big boy up front, Haaland, was carrying a knock. But regardless, surely they've got to be too good for Leicester City away.
I would think so. I think he'll probably play. He took him off at half-time as a precaution.
Yeah.
He wasn't limp. He was walking around the pitch afterwards, Haaland. I think he'll play. He didn't play De Bruyne, so he's come back fresh. Yeah. I think whatever 11 that he puts out. Leicester, I think, will give them a game. I mean, obviously, they had a huge win last week at Wolves, although Wolves missed quite a few chances. Yeah. But I think ultimately City will be too strong. But I think Leicester will give them if Leicester don't concede too early, I think it could be a close game, but I think City will definitely come through.
Steve, a quick question. Have they finalised a boss at Wolves?
They finalised
the manager at Wolves. I haven't read anything. They were talking.
No, they haven't. No, they seem to be. They've sort of decided, I think, that they'll carry on just as they are for a little while with Steve Davis as sort of interim manager. But maybe they'll change their mind after that defeat. If they lose at the weekend, then maybe they'll need to do something. So,
Steve, watching on TV last night. The sporting manager, I think he's 37.
Yeah, he's the guy they all want.
He's a guy. They say Wolves wanted him. Aston Villa, his name's been in the hat for them. So he looks like he could get a job in England.
Yeah, I mean, evidently though, there's quite there's quite a big buyout clause on his contract, and that. So whether or not they're prepared to pay, but I guess the difference between paying that and staying up maybe is huge. So I think if Wolves really want him, and again the amount of Portuguese players they have in their squad, if they have another Portuguese manager, I guess it might well fit. But for the moment, it seems to have gone a little bit quiet. But then these things like Unai Emery, these seem to come out of left field fairly quickly.
Yeah. Okay, no panic. Now the big game for Paul especially, Bournemouth Spurs. If Tottenham can't beat Bournemouth, I know they struggle against the better teams. Yeah. I think this is a 3-1, 4-1 game, Steve. What do you think?
Bournemouth are rubbish.
Yeah, look, I mean, they've had 2 poor performances and poor results against United and Newcastle, and they really need to bounce back. Otherwise, their own aspirations in finishing in the top 4 or even higher, I think could be dented. So I think Paul would. I think that they will go there, but they need. I just think see, it's obviously sort of playing a sort of a counter-attack sort of game, and I think you go to a place like Bournemouth, you're just going to be on the front foot and take the game to them. They've got the quality Spurs. They don't need to sit back against teams in the lower half of the table.
No,
I agree.
They got to attack like they did second half last night, and they got to throw a few people in. Kulusevski and Richarlison are not going to play before the World Cup. They're not going to take a risk. Those 2 aren't coming in. The Lucas Moura's got the touch of a blacksmith at the moment. Get the ball, it bounces 2 meters from him, and then he's got the speed to get going with it. So it'll be something, Kane. I don't know who else they can. They've got a kid on the bench who's a footballer. I don't know if they'll throw him on. And we've got enough good players through the middle. Good players to win this game.
Just don't play this back 3. I don't know why he does it. You can't play a back 3 against mediocre teams. If he does that, you'll be in trouble. Because all they're going to do is launch it long. But for me, I think Spurs will win comfortably. Next game's got me worried. Steve, Brentford Wolves. On all home form, it should be Brentford, but they were woeful last Sunday against Aston Villa. Wolves are going to grab somebody one of these days, but they're struggling to score. I think a draw is all over this one, Steve. What do you think?
Well, I think Wolves, as you say, Wolves' problem is not being able to score. I mean, without Raul Jimenez, they really have lost their sort of talisman up front. They created 20 chances against Leicester and didn't hardly hit the target. Brentford, on the other hand, had a really bad day, and Thomas Frank, I think, was furious. I'd be surprised if they don't show bounce back a little bit. So, I think their previous home game, they gave Chelsea a good game. So I think at home, I would fancy Brentford to be. If either were going to win, I think it would be Brentford. But again, Wolves can't afford to lose. So I think a draw or a 1-goal home win would, seem more likely.
Totally agree. Now the next game is interesting. Graham Potter going back to his old club. Since he's left, Brighton haven't won in 5, and Chelsea haven't lost in 5.
The key is they put 3. Didn't Brighton put 3 past Liverpool?
That was their home. That was his first game to Zerbi.
First game,
So they've been struggling ever since. They drew 3 all that
Can't
game.
Can't score after that.
Can't score. They outplay everybody. I think another game where the draw's written all over it, Steve. How do you see it?
Yeah, again, I think it depends on the sort of team that Potter puts out. But I think similar to the Brentford game, I think Chelsea probably be favourites. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if Brighton hold them. I think they'll probably be determined to show their old manager that they can still play without him there. Yeah. So I think a very low scoring game. 1 goal could win it for Chelsea, but otherwise I think Brighton might hold it.
Yeah, I just worry about if Chelsea are going to start playing these wingers, Sterling at wing backs and that. They've got that Tariq Lamptey, he's a greyhound on the right-hand side. He'll cause them plenty of damage. Paul Lamptey. Next game, Steve, Crystal Palace, Southampton. A lot of people, I believe, are going to go for Crystal Palace. Yeah, I think this is one of the best bets of the weekend. Both teams to score at 8.5 to 10. Southampton, once James Ward-Prowse gets on it, they're always dangerous. They never stop trying, even if they're 5 or 6-0 down.
Them in Ings?
Ings, No, not Danny Ings. They've got Che Adams and Stuart Armstrong scored the other day.
That's right, yes.
What do you think, Steve?
Against Arsenal, I thought Arsenal, when they scored early, were going to run riot. But, Southampton, carry on. They didn't give up, and probably deservedly in the second half, you got something out of it. I think there will be goals, but Palace are making themselves a hard team to beat, particularly at Selhurst Park. I fancy of the 2 Palace to win.
Me too.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, on to the second page where we've got half-flying Newcastle United, who are now in 4th place against an Aston Villa team who, great result after they fired Steven Gerrard. Unai Emery, interesting managerial appointment. How do you see Newcastle going? 9 to 10 is not a bad price.
Yeah, they played very well at Tottenham. I fancied Tottenham to win that, but in the end, Newcastle were, probably deservedly took the 3 points. We don't know what you're going to get with Villa. Obviously, they bounced back after the Fulham game with a huge win. Unai Emery doesn't officially take over until after the weekend, because of visa issues. So I think Newcastle will start as favourites, but be interesting to see if Villa sort of continue with this sort of newfound confidence.
Yeah, it always worries me. A new manager, Barnes syndrome, always seems to work. Obviously, the players are worried about getting a chance or getting fired, but I don't see Newcastle getting beat. Fulham Everton, Steve, as you said earlier, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I can see this being 2-2, something in that range. Everton with Calvert-Lewin back, they totally outplayed for Palace last week, 3-0. And your boys at home, only 1 defeat, and that was to Newcastle when you had a player sent off after 10 minutes. I think it's going to be a cracker. I'm glad it's a late game.
Well, I think there will be goals. I think our problem is not scoring goals. We're the 4th highest goal scorers, but we've conceded as many as we scored, and that is still an issue. And I think that I was very impressed with Everton last week as well. That they've obviously although they had a couple of defeats before, but with Calvert-Lewin back in as their target man, and Anthony Gordon sort of behind.
Yeah.
I think that I'd be very surprised if we could keep a clean sheet. We will. I think you're right. I think we will need to score a couple of goals to get something out of the game. So a win would be wonderful. A point wouldn't be the worst result. I think the key is carrying on picking up points.
Yeah.
And I think if we can do that, obviously we've got City away next week. We don't expect anything, but we're on 18 points at the moment. If we go into the winter break 19 or 20, we would be in a good position. So we pretty much, Mitrovic is playing basically he's not able to train much at the moment. Okay. He's taking painkiller. Having a painkilling injection before games. So hopefully he will be fit. He seems determined to carry on playing, and we need him.
Yeah, definitely. Liverpool too strong for Leeds United?
Well, you would think so. I mean, based on the way Leeds have been playing, no win in 8, 4 defeats in a row. Jesse March under a lot of pressure. Liverpool, Klopp was obviously furious after their performance away at Forest last week. I would be very surprised if they don't bounce back with a comfortable win.
Yeah, they don't get beat too often.
They're a bit stiff against Arsenal.
Yeah, they were at home, but this is away.
They're not playing badly, I know, but Liverpool are, they're not predictable.
Yeah, and you look at the bench, there isn't really much on the bench, but I'm only concerned for Leeds. 5 away games, they've conceded 12 goals, and going to Anfield, that's not a recipe for success. Anyway, talking of Arsenal, Steve, last 8 home games, they've won all 8, but interesting, they've conceded in all 8 games.
That's interesting.
Notts Forest, they'll have a go. They've got nothing to lose. I like this counter-attack.
If they get 1 goal early.
You never know. But Arsenal, Steve, obviously look good things for the weekend, don't they?
I think Arsenal would be, clear favourites. I think it would be a real surprise if Forest got anything. But they're making themselves hard to beat. And I think, obviously, beating Liverpool and not conceding has given them a lot of confidence because they had conceded a lot of goals before that. Arsenal have got to start as clear favourites. I think ultimately get the first goal, as they invariably do. I think they will go on to win comfortably.
Yeah, I agree. Man United, West Ham, the late game on Sunday after the clocks have gone back. How do you see it, Steve?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I mean, both teams are playing in Europe tonight, although they will sort of mix and match the players out there. I think, if United can reproduce the sort of form that they showed in their last home game against Spurs, I think they'll probably win. But West Ham haven't got a bad record up there. So I think it will be close. I think there will be goals. And I think if United can just show just a little bit more sort of clinical finishing, I think they could just edge it.
Yeah, I fancy United. You have a look at our last 3 home wins. Liverpool, Arsenal and Tottenham. Deserved victory in all of them. And we drew with Newcastle. So, West Ham, I know they won on Monday night, Steve, but I was disappointed in them. Bournemouth, I know, hung in there, but they were fortunate, in my opinion, with the first goal. The second penalty, there's no doubt. But Bournemouth had chances all along to try and get back into the game. And if Jadon Sancho can do something in the last third, I think United could tear them apart. But even in saying that, can he do something? That's the problem. But I fancy United all day. On to the Championship, where we had 2 results in midweek. Coventry cost me a few rand, drawing at Rotherham, and Burnley. Great result, beating Norwich to go top of the table.
Top of the Championship.
So they've only lost once, and that was the time I backed them. They lost to Watford 1-0. They shouldn't have lost, but anyway. But Vincent Kompany doing a great job. Steve, Birmingham, QPR, 2 mates of mine, Stuart Cameron and Steve Potter. Birmingham, QPR mates. Big game on Friday night. QPR going well.
Yeah.
QPR go top
of the last 6, obviously if they won the game in hand, they go top. So really sort of, I think, sort of performing sort of over and above what sort of people expected. Birmingham are very inconsistent, but they've shown a little bit of fight recently. So I think it'll be a close game. I think QPR will be favourites, but I wouldn't be surprised if Birmingham hold them.
Yeah, 8-10, both teams to score. That's in our bets. Now, Bristol City, who I can never catch, at home against the Swansea City team who've climbed into 4th. They're going well, Swansea, Steve. There will be goals, but which way do you think it'll go?
Yeah, I mean, Swansea won 5 out of 6. Bristol City, very inconsistent. Started off, scoring goals, but concede as well. I think Swansea have just turned the corner. They're starting to turn their possession into goals, and I fancy them to get a result. I think it will be it will be close, but I think that the Swansea might just edge it.
Yeah, this is one of those inconsistent teams, Bristol City. They either score 2 or concede 3. Now, West Brom, who appointed the ex-Huddersfield man a couple of days or two, is it Carlos Corberan, against a Sheffield United team who are unbeaten. I mean, haven't won in 6. Very surprised in that. Sheffield United are going well. But I don't see Sheffield United getting beat here, Steve. Do you?
Yeah, no, it's really strange. You think a few weeks ago, Norwich and Sheffield United were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Neither have won in 6. West Brom, they had that win at Reading, but otherwise,
the second loss.
Really, really poor. And Carlos Corberan, I think, is a very good acquisition for them. I mean, he really sort of worked wonders at Huddersfield, and I think they obviously feel that he knows the Championship well. Yeah. I think he will turn things around, but I don't think he'll turn them around as quickly as the weekend. So I think of the two, I still fancy Sheffield United.
Now, wasn't he the bucket man, Bielsa's right-hand man at Leeds United when they got promoted, Corberan?
I don't know.
I think he was, yeah.
I'm sure it was.
So, as I say, he knows the Championship well, and he really did. With a relatively unfancied squad, he did exceptionally well at Huddersfield. So it's whether he can just sort of get, they're obviously misfiring at West Brom, and he's got to turn it around quickly because they're not going anywhere at the moment. That's
true. Now, one team that is going somewhere at the moment is Burnley. 6-10 to beat Reading. Paul Ince's Reading.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they, as you say, one defeat in 17 this season, just starting to turn those draws into wins. And I think that, Reading, again, one of these sides, win one week, lose the next. But I think that Burnley should be too strong. All
right, on to Cardiff versus Rotherham. Rotherham, another good away result in midweek.
They're doing well.
Yeah, they're hanging in there for a promoted team. Cardiff lost the last 3, Steve. Which way do you think it's going?
Yeah, I'm surprised that the odds are so in favour of Cardiff because they really haven't been playing very well. Rotherham just keep surprising. I think everybody thinks they're going to finish in the bottom 3, but they keep upsetting the odds. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if they get something there.
Okay, Coventry, who disappointed me in midweek at home against the Blackpool team, in and out Blackpool. I think Coventry good thing, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah, very much so. They're having a good run. If they won their 2 home games, and they'd be up to halfway. Yeah. So I just think they've turned the corner. Evidently they missed a lot of chances during the week against Rotherham, but left it late to get back into it. Blackpool not very good away from home, so I fancy Coventry to win that one.
Yeah, me too. Now, this is my best bet of the weekend. I fancy Millwall. I watched them destroy Watford the other day. It was 3-0 at half-time. At a Huddersfield Town, I can't have them, Steve. I've watched them a few times. If Millwall play like they have done the last few games, I think they're certainties. How do you see it?
I think Millwall should start as favourites. I mean, Huddersfield a little bit better at home more recently, but Millwall has certainly started. A few weeks ago we were very disappointed with their form, but they've turned the corner and they're starting to pick points up, and they're now not far off a playoff place. So I think Millwall should start as favourites, but I think it'll be close. Okay,
Hull City, Blackburn. Blackburn at home are unbeatable, but away from home, I think they've only won 1 of the last 4. Hull City won the last 2, Steve. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, well, I think up till a couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said Blackburn all day long, but Hull have had 2 results. So, as you say, Blackburn, win 1 week at home, lose the next week away pretty much. So I think I wouldn't be at all surprised if Hull at least hold them.
Yeah, score draw for me there. On to the next page. Sorry, we got next page, Steve. Sorry, we've got Luton Town, Sunderland. How do you see it?
Yeah, Luton were completely outplayed by Watford last weekend. Yeah. I think a bit of a surprise really after the run they'd had. On the other hand, Sunderland had a fantastic first half against Burnley and fell apart. So I think Luton will start as favourites, but Sunderland score goals away from home. So I think there'll be goals in it, but Luton might just edge it.
Yeah, it's strange. Luton at home always seem to disappoint, especially when we fancy them. Now, the next game's a crucial game. You mentioned earlier,
Sure.
Norwich City haven't won in 6, and Stoke City are better away from home than at home. I don't see Norwich losing, Steve, but this will be a tight game.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think that they were disappointed last week. I mean, they had a 2-goal lead. Pookie scored. I think at home that this might be the game that they turn it around. I think it will be close, but I think Norwich will probably just edge it.
All right, Steve. My beloved Preston North End at home against Middlesbrough. I was looking at the stats of Preston. Away from home, we've got the second best away record. At home, we've got the second worst home record. Michael Carrick takes over. He's got Jonathan Woodgate as his assistant. Is at Middlesbrough. I think this is a draw written all over it.
Where's Carrick gone?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I think Michael Carrick will turn things around at Middlesbrough. They had a good result the other day. I sort of have a feeling it's going to be another very low-scoring draw.
0-0 draw. I think it was 6-1 I saw in the paper. But
sure,
yeah, Preston, I know we got defensive injuries, read the manager's reports, but no confidence, especially at home. And last but not least, Wigan versus Watford, Steve. I think Watford are good things. How do you see it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they'd had a bit of a wobble, but that was a big win against Luton.
Yeah.
But Wigan have lost 5 of the last 6. I fancy Watford strongly to get a result.
Yeah, me too. I just think 15-10 are in our bets. You never know with Wigan, but they seem to be better at home than at DW Stadium. So, but if Watford are going to put a run in to get promotion, this is the type of game they've got to win. And I fancy Watford big time, 50-10. Yeah. Steve, pressure time as always. I need your best bet and value bet, please.
I think I'm going to go for Coventry as my best bet. I just think that they're just starting to turn the corner. I think they'll be too strong. Yeah. And my value bet, I'm going to go for Swansea. I think that 5 wins out of 6, and they're stronger on the road at the moment. So, hopefully they won't let me down.
Yeah, it's amazing the betting in the Championship. Just when you think you've got the league all sussed, away, it's unbelievable. But that's why we play. Try and get a few pounds. Steve, thank you very much. Enjoy the cricket, pleasure. And we'll speak soon.
As always, thanks very much. Thank you, Steve. Cheers, pal. Right, let's get on to PSL. Here's some midweek results just to talk about first. Royal AM.
Paul, what a good game. Another thunder and lightning we had. Paul, it was 2-1. Arrows missed a penalty. They had chances, and then Royal AM grabbed them late on 3-1. Good game.
Maritzburg got thumped.
They were 3-0 down in no time, but Sundowns made 5 changes. Looked a lot sharper. Felt for Maritzburg, but lucky it was only 5,
yeah. Cape Town City keep winning.
Yeah, they 1-0 down, came back to win 2-1. It wasn't on, Paul. I didn't see it, but Maruma Gallants, AmaZulu, they could still be playing. It would be 0-0, Paul.
Just touching on last week's semis.
Yeah.
The final is between
Pirates and AmaZulu.
Fantastic.
Been brilliant. Happy for AmaZulu, Paul. They're hanging on away goals.
Home and away?
Yeah. No, it's at Moses Mabhida. November the 5th. 1-1, yeah. Garfox.
Okay, well, let's look at the fixtures, Budge. Yeah. And they should come up on our screen any moment now. Maritzburg.
Yeah, this is a Friday night game, Paul. Goals, I don't know, the betting wasn't out. I took this from one company's betting odds on Wednesday. Yeah, Paul, Maritzburg, they got outplayed by Sundowns, which is to be expected. Golden Arrows have a go, Paul, but defensively they're woeful. As always, the draw's a player in most of our games in the PSL, but I'm going to have a dip on both teams to score, Paul. I think it'll be 12-13-10. I think there will be goals.
Saturday, 3:30, Budge. The stadium will be full.
Oh, FNB, be 90,000.
A 2-part series on Orlando Pirates at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7 tonight.
I'll tape it and watch it later.
It's fantastic. I watched the preview of it, where they come from, meet the players, and very interesting.
Yeah, well, them and Swallows were the first 2 teams from Soweto. Yeah,
were they?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kaiser, once he left Pirates, he started his team up and away they went. But I fancy Pirates of the 2 teams, Paul.
Do you?
You know,
Chiefs. Well.
You just never know. They didn't get beat, Paul, but 0-0 are disappointed for, obviously, Sheppy and,
Derby's the Derby.
Derby the Derby, Paul. I think it's 12-10, both teams to score. That'll be my play. They have to have a go, but of the 2 teams, I fancy Pirates.
Okay, Maruma?
Paul, they can't score. I think they've drawn their last 8 home games. So Cape Town City, I've always been a lover of Eric Tinkler. Of the 2 teams, I fancy them. Win and draw Cape Town City for me.
Royal Am, can they
Paul,
hold?
I don't think so, Paul. Defensively, Sundowns are a good outfit. Having been beaten by Pirates, all the young guys coming in, it's their chance.
Yeah.
Ulani McQueen taken over from my mate Mongoba, but 6 to 10 Sundowns, Paul. I think they're good
all
things.
day long.
All day long.
Okay, let's look at the Amazulu. They're on a high at
Paul,
the
I
moment.
can't have Amazulu. You know what happened to these teams? They were in
Yes,
terrible league form
Boom,
prior.
boom, yeah.
Now they're in the cup final. All the players will be scheming, don't get injured for the final. And Stellenbosch away from home have only lost one, and that was to Sundowns. So if anything, it's a draw in Stellenbosch for me there.
Okay, Chipper versus Richards
Paul,
Bay.
yeah, Paul,
Richards Bay is second.
Yeah, but they don't concede goals. That's why. But this game's been playing at Bidvest Stadium in Joburg, Mill Park, because Chipper have got renovation problems and they're at the other ground. They aren't allowed to play there. Paul, Richards Bay in the draw for me there. They don't get beat.
Okay.
Unbeaten in 7, don't concede. Anyone's going to win, it's going to be Richards Bay.
TX Galaxy.
Paul, 2 struggling teams. TS Galaxy played great. They beat Supersport and Sundowns. They haven't won since. Sekakuna are also struggling, 1 win in 9. The draw's the right player there, Paul.
Okay, and Supersport third
I
in the
think
log.
certainties, Paul. I think next to Sundowns, they are the best team. And we actually backed Supersport. So we backed Sundowns to beat Supersport. Supersport destroyed them, 2-1. Gavin's going well, 6 out of 7 wins. I watched them win in Cape Town the other week. 8 to 10 looks a gift, Paul.
Okay, never looked a gift horse in the mouth. But let's go through and have a look at these.
Let's go through our
sixes and
exotics.
tens.
Saturday score 6. I'm banking Man City to beat Leicester. I've thrown the draw in with Tottenham at Bournemouth. I've gone the field in the Brighton Chelsea fixture. I've got Newcastle United win and draw at home against Villa. The field in the Fulham versus Everton encounter, because I have to bank Liverpool to beat Leeds 2-1-6. Onto the Phumelela Soccer 6, I'm going Orlando Pirates, win and draw against Kaizer Chiefs. Brentford to avoid defeat at home against Wolverhampton. I don't see Crystal Palace losing at home against Southampton. I'm banking Tottenham to beat Bournemouth. Going Chelsea, win and draw at Brighton and Cape Town City. Another away side, win and draw at Maruma Gallants, 192. Onto our score 10, I'm banking Man City to beat Leicester. The field in the West Brom Sheffield United game, banking Tottenham to beat Bournemouth. Brentford win and draw at home against Wolverhampton. Chelsea win and draw at Brighton. Onto our second page, I'm going Crystal Palace win and draw against Southampton. Newcastle win and draw against Aston Villa. The field in the Fulham Everton match, and bankering Burnley to beat Reading and Liverpool to beat Leeds United, 288. Onto the Soccer 13, I'm banking Liverpool to beat Leeds United. The field in the Fulham versus Everton fixture. Chelsea to avoid defeat at Brighton. Banking Newcastle beat Aston Villa. Tottenham to beat Bournemouth. Crystal Palace to beat Southampton. Brentford win and draw at home against Wolves. The second page, I'm going Coventry to be too strong at home against Blackpool. Cardiff City win and draw against Rotherham. Blackburn to avoid defeat against Hull City. Chancing Luton to win at home against Sunderland. The field in the Preston North End Middlesbrough match. And I'm banking Watford to be too good for Wigan, 256. Onto our Budgies bets.
This is it. This is my show.
Paul, 15 to 10. Tottenham to win and over 2.5 goals.
Fantastic.
I think it's
price.
a gift. And I'm going over 2.5 goals.
Could I go walk in and take a straight bet?
Straight bet, yeah. That's a popular bet. Tottenham 15 to 10. Away you go. I think it was 15 and a half.
goals. So if they win
2-1, 3-0, 4-0.
Okay,
Got to be total. Got to be a minimum of 3.
Okay, got
then
you.
over 2.5 goals in the Crystal Palace Southampton game. Southampton games are always full of goals. And Arsenal to win, both teams to score. Yes, Paul. 8 home wins conceded in every game. I'm chancing Notts Forest to score. Hopefully it's
That's
a
your
penalty.
chance, yeah.
So that's the chance.
That's
Paul,
your
14
chance.
to 1, 2-8 to 200. Our
Okay.
team goals only. I'm going Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Everton and Man United all to score over 1.5 goals. Same price, 2,800 to 200.
I like it.
Onto the championship, it's a treble. I think Millwall will be too good for Huddersfield. I think Watford will be too good for Wigan. And I'm going over 2.5 goals in the Luton Town Sunderland fixture, 2,400 to 200. Our both teams to score sides are Birmingham City QPR, Hull City Blackburn, Norwich City Stoke and West Brom Sheffield United, 2,000 to 200. The PSL, I'm going Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Royal AM. Supersport United to beat Swallows and both teams to score, and the Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, and TS Galaxy, Sekhukhune United, both desperate clubs, 2,200 to 200. And now, Collis King 6 on Nexa. I'm going Arsenal to beat Forest, Man United to beat West Ham, Millwall to beat Huddersfield, Bayern Munich to beat Mainz, Real Madrid to beat Girona, and Lazio to beat Salernitana. 1601, 3,200 to 200. Paul.
Gee, excellent. I like those bets, Budge. There's some very good bets there. Well, that was very good. Good to hear from Steve.
Yeah.
And just to let the public know, the league will go until the 13th? Or?
It's the 13th, yeah, Sunday the 13th of November. We've got 3 more rounds of the Premiership, Paul.
3 more rounds. And make sure you get your bets on for last one standing. Until next time, stay on side.